Have you ever taken a photo, and later realized something in it wasn't supposed to be there? A face that wasn't behind you. A shadow that wasn't in the room. Or worse, something looking directly at you from inside the image. Tonight's story isn't just a warning. It's a rule. Never take photos in a morgue. Because once you do, it won't just capture the dead. It will capture you. Chapter 1. The New Job. I took the night shift because no one else would. That alone should have been a warning. The hospital stood at the far edge of the city, where streetlights grew sparse and silence settled like dust over everything. Even in daylight, the building felt wrong. The paint peeled in long, curling strips, and the windows reflected nothing but a dull, gray sky, as if they refused to show what was inside. But I needed the money. The manager didn't ask many questions when I applied. He barely looked at me, just slid a small ring of cold metal keys across the desk. His fingers lingered on them for a second longer than necessary. "You'll be stationed downstairs," he said quietly. "Basement level." I nodded. Then he added, almost as an afterthought, "Don't stay down there longer than you have to." I laughed. "It's a morgue, not a haunted house." He didn't laugh back. The first time I stepped into the basement, the temperature dropped instantly, like crossing an invisible line between the living world and something else. The fluorescent lights flickered above me, buzzing softly, struggling to stay alive. The smell hit me next. Formalin. Thick, sharp. It clung to the inside of my nose and throat, like it wanted to stay there forever. Rows of metal drawers stretched along the walls, each one identical, each one holding something that used to be someone. They were stacked neatly, too neatly, like a filing system for the dead. I told myself it was just a job. Just routine. Check the logs, monitor the temperature, stay awake. Easy. My shift started at 11 p.m. By midnight, the silence had already begun to feel unnatural. It wasn't just quiet, it was empty. The kind of silence that makes your ears strain, as if they're expecting something to break it. Every small sound became amplified, the hum of electricity, the faint drip of water somewhere far away, the soft creak of metal expanding in the cold. I tried distracting myself with my phone, but even the glow of the screen felt out of place here. At 12:37 a.m., I realized something. I hadn't heard a single footstep. Not upstairs. Not in the hallway. Not anywhere. It was as if the entire hospital had stopped. I stood up and walked slowly down the row of drawers, my shoes echoing faintly against the tiled floor. I don't know why I did it. Maybe I just needed to remind myself I wasn't trapped in that chair. Each drawer had a number. 1, 2, 3. My fingers brushed lightly against the cold metal handles as I passed. They were all closed. All silent. All still. I told myself everything was normal. And yet, I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. At exactly 1:02 a.m., the lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then steadied. I froze in place. For a moment, I thought I heard something, so faint I almost convinced myself it was my imagination. A soft sound. Distant. Hollow. Like something tapping from the inside. I held my breath. The silence returned. Heavier than before. I forced out a laugh. trying to calm myself. Old building, I muttered. Pipes. Metal. That's all. But my voice sounded strange in that space, too loud. Too sharp. Like it didn't belong there. I walked back to the desk. Sat down. And avoided looking at the rows behind me. Because deep down, I had the unsettling feeling that if I turned around, something would be waiting. And that was only my first night. Chapter 2. The rules no one mentions. I found the note at 1:15 a.m. It wasn't there when my shift started. I was sure of that. The desk in the basement was old, scratched, uneven, with one drawer that never closed properly. I had checked it earlier out of boredom, running my fingers along the dusty surface, tapping it absent-mindedly while scrolling on my phone. There had been nothing. But now, a folded piece of paper sat right in the center of the desk. As if it had always been waiting for me to notice it. I stared at it for a long moment before touching it. A strange hesitation crept in, something instinctive. Like my body knew before my mind did that I shouldn't open it. Still, I did. The paper felt damp, not wet, just slightly soft. Like it had absorbed something from the air. Or from somewhere else. Inside, 3 lines were written in uneven handwriting. Not messy. Not rushed. Just wrong. Like the person who wrote it wasn't used to holding a pen. Do not open drawer 13 after 2 a.m. If you hear knocking, ignore it. Do not take pictures. I frowned. That was it. No explanation, no signature, no context. Just rules. A dry laugh escaped me. Real funny, I muttered, looking around the empty basement. Initiation prank? No answer came back. Of course it didn't. Still, the air felt different now. Heavier. I checked the clock. 1:23 a.m. Plenty of time before 2 o'clock. Plenty of time before anything supposedly mattered. I folded the paper and slipped it into my pocket. More out of habit than belief. Rules like that belonged in horror stories. Not real life. And yet, I found myself glancing over my shoulder more often. At 1:40 a.m., I heard the first sound. Cock, cock? Soft. Faint. But unmistakable. I froze. The sound came again. Cock, cock, cock? Not random. Not mechanical. It had rhythm. Like someone knocking. I slowly turned my head toward the rows of drawers. They all looked the same. Cold, silent, unmoving. But now, the silence wasn't empty anymore. It was waiting. Pipes, I whispered, just pipes. But even as I said it, I knew it wasn't true. Pipes didn't knock like that. Pipes didn't pause, as if listening. The sound came again. Louder this time. Closer. Cock. Cock. My eyes moved instinctively, scanning the numbers etched into the metal. 8, 9, 10? My breathing slowed. 11, 12? Then, the sound stopped. Completely. As if it knew I had found it. I swallowed. The note in my pocket suddenly felt heavier. Do not open drawer 13 after 2 a.m. I checked the clock again. 1:47 a.m. Not 2 o'clock yet. Not yet. A thought crept into my mind, quiet. Persistent. So it's fine, right? The rule hadn't been broken. Not technically. I took a step forward. Then another. Each movement felt louder than it should have, my footsteps echoing unnaturally in the cold space. The handle of drawer 13 was directly in front of me now. Cold. Still. Waiting. For a second, I hesitated. Every instinct told me to walk away. To sit back down. To pretend I never heard anything. Then. Knock. A single knock. From inside. My hand moved before I could stop it. Fingers wrapping around the metal handle. The cold shot straight through my skin. Up my arm. Settling deep in my chest. I held my breath. And pulled. The drawer slid open slowly. Too smoothly. Like it had been opened many times before. A rush of colder air spilled out. Thicker than anything I had felt in that room so far. It carried a smell, faint, metallic, and something else beneath it. Something old. Something wrong. Inside. There was a body. A woman. Still. Silent. Covered by a white sheet. I exhaled shakily. See? I whispered to myself. Nothing. Just a body. Just another entry in a long, quiet list of the dead. And yet, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had just done something irreversible. Because behind me, somewhere in the basement, something shifted. And I was no longer the only one listening.
Like and subscribe to Whispering Dark Tales for more chilling ghost stories.
Chapter 3. Drawer 13. The cold didn't stop at my hand. It spread. Slowly, deliberately, like something alive. Crawling beneath my skin. Threading its way up my arm and settling deep inside my chest. I tried to pull back. But my fingers remained wrapped around the handle of drawer 13. Stiff and incooperative. For a moment, I just stood there, staring. The body inside hadn't moved. The white sheet lay perfectly still, rising only slightly at the shape of her face. No breathing, no sound, no sign of anything unnatural. Just a corpse. That's all it was supposed to be. Get a grip, I muttered under my breath. My voice sounded hollow, like it didn't quite belong to me anymore. I forced my hand to let go of the drawer and took a step back. Then another. The cold lingered, clinging to my fingers long after I had pulled away. As if something inside that drawer didn't want to let go. I wiped my hand against my shirt. It didn't help. The room felt smaller now. The rows of drawers, once neat and orderly, seemed to stretch longer. Deeper, like they had shifted while I wasn't looking. The fluorescent lights above flickered again, briefly dimming the world into a dull gray. I glanced at the clock on the wall. 1:52 a.m. Only 5 minutes had passed. It felt like much longer. I turned back toward drawer 13. It was still open. The white sheet hadn't moved. Everything looked normal. Too normal. Close it, I told myself. That was the logical thing to do. Close it, walk away, finish the shift. Forget about the stupid note and the knocking and everything else that didn't make sense. I stepped forward again. Slower this time. More careful. As I reached out, something stopped me. Not a sound. Not a movement. Just a feeling. A quiet, suffocating certainty that if I touched that drawer again, something would happen. I swallowed hard. My eyes drifted to the edge of the sheet. For a split second, I thought I saw it move. I froze. Completely. Every muscle locked in place. The world seemed to narrow down to that single point, the thin line where fabric met air. Nothing. No movement. No sound. You're imagining things, I whispered. But my voice trembled. I leaned in slightly, just enough to get a better look. The sheet was thin. Too thin. I could make out the outline beneath it, the curve of her face, the hollow of her eyes, the faint shape of her lips. And something else. Something wrong. Her head wasn't lying straight. It was tilted. Just slightly. As if she had turned it. My breath caught in my throat. No, I said quickly. No, that's not. A sudden buzz broke the silence. I flinched. My phone. My hands shook as I pulled it from my pocket. The screen lit up, casting a pale glow across my face. No notifications. No calls. Just the camera app, already open. I frowned. I didn't open this. The screen showed the live view of the room. The drawers. The open space. Drawer 13. And me. Standing in front of it. For a second, nothing seemed off. Then, I noticed it. The angle. The camera wasn't showing what I was looking at. It was showing me. From behind. My blood turned to ice. Slowly, very slowly, I turned my head. There was no one there. Nothing behind me but empty space and rows of silent metal drawers. But on the screen, someone was standing directly behind me. A woman. Tall. Thin. Her head tilted at an unnatural angle. Her face hidden beneath long, dark hair that hung wetly over her shoulders. I couldn't breathe. No, I whispered. The image on the screen flickered. For a split second, her face became visible. No eyes. Just two hollow, black sockets. And a mouth stretched wide into something that resembled a smile. But wasn't. The phone slipped from my hand and hit the floor with a sharp crack. The screen went dark. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. Every instinct screamed at me not to. Behind me. Something shifted. Not a footstep. Not a sound. Just the unmistakable feeling of presence. Closer now. Closer than before. A cold breath brushed against the back of my neck. Slow. Heavy. Deliberate. And then, right next to my ear, a whisper. Take another one. Chapter 4. The first photograph. I didn't remember picking up the phone. But somehow, it was back in my hand. The screen was still cracked from the fall. A thin fracture running across it like a vein. The camera app remained open, flickering slightly, struggling to focus in the dim, sterile light of the morgue. My breathing was uneven. Too loud. Too fast. I could still feel it. That breath. Right behind my neck. Cold. Waiting. Take another one. The whisper hadn't come from the room. It had come from inside my head. No, I said, my voice shaking. No, I'm not doing that. But my hand tightened around the phone anyway. My thumb hovered over the shutter button. Unmoving. Like it didn't belong to me anymore. The screen adjusted its focus. And then, I saw her again. She was no longer behind me. She was standing in front of drawer 13. Exactly where the body had been. The sheet was gone. I was sure of it. There was nothing covering her now. Her skin was pale, too pale, like it had never known warmth. It stretched tightly over her bones, thin enough that I could see faint blue veins branching beneath the surface. Her head still tilted to one side. Too far. Farther than any neck should allow. And her eyes. Still gone. Just two empty, black hollows. Endless. Watching. I stumbled backward, nearly losing my balance. "This isn't real," I whispered. "This isn't real." But the camera didn't agree. Because on the screen, she took a step closer. My heart slammed against my ribs. I forced myself to look away from the phone. To look at the drawer. At the place where she was supposed to be. There was nothing there. Just the open drawer. And the still, covered body lying inside. My stomach twisted. Slowly, I raised the phone again. She was closer now. So close that her face nearly filled the screen. The hollow sockets where her eyes should have been seemed to stretch deeper. Darker, as if they weren't empty at all. But leading somewhere else. Somewhere far below. Her lips parted slightly. And I realized something that made my blood run cold. She wasn't breathing. But she was moving. "Why did you stop?" The voice again. Inside my head. Closer now. Sharper. I tried to speak. But my throat felt tight. I didn't do anything. Her mouth opened wider. Too wide. The skin at the corners stretched, and stretched, until it looked like it might tear. And inside. I saw something shift. Not teeth. Not a tongue. Something else. Something moving. Something trying to come out. The phone vibrated in my hand. My thumb twitched. And before I could stop it. Click. The flash exploded in the darkness. A blinding white burst that swallowed everything for a split second. When the light faded, she was gone. The drawer was open. The body lay still. The sheet was back in place. Everything. Exactly as it had been. Except. My phone. The image was there. Saved. Permanent. My hands trembled as I looked at it. At first, it seemed normal. Just a body. Covered. Lifeless. Then I zoomed in. And my heart stopped. Because the sheet wasn't fully covering her face. It had slipped. Just enough. Enough for me to see one eye. Open. Not empty. Not hollow. Looking straight at me. And below it. Her hand. Reaching out from under the sheet. Gripping something. I zoomed further. Closer. Closer. My breath caught. It was my wrist. In the photo. Her fingers were wrapped tightly around it. Digging in. Holding me in place. But in reality. My arm hung free. Untouched. For a second, I felt relief. A weak, desperate kind of relief. Then. Pain. Sharp. Sudden. Burning. I gasped and looked down. Red marks began to form around my wrist. Finger-shaped. Tightening. As if something was still holding on.
Like and subscribe to Whispering Dark Tales for more chilling ghost stories.
Chapter 5. It was never just a picture. The pain didn't stop. It tightened. Slowly. Deliberately. As if invisible fingers were digging deeper into my wrist. pressing into bone, claiming something that didn't belong to them. I stumbled back, nearly dropping the phone again. "Let go," I hissed, shaking my arm violently. But there was nothing there. Nothing I could see. Only the marks. Dark, red impressions of fingers that weren't mine. They grew clearer by the second, 5 distinct points, wrapping around my wrist exactly as they had in the photo. Not fading. Not imaginary. Real. My breathing became shallow. Uneven. I forced myself to look back at the image. I didn't want to. Every instinct told me to throw the phone away. To smash it. To run upstairs and never come back. But I couldn't. Something pulled me in. In the picture. Her hand was still there. Clutching me. Tighter than before. And her eye. Still open. Still staring. I zoomed out slightly. My stomach twisted. She had moved again. The sheet that once covered her had slipped further down. Her face was now more visible, too visible. The skin around her mouth was stretched, torn at the corners like something had forced its way out from inside. Her lips were parted. And now, I could see it clearly. Movement. Inside her throat. Not breathing. Not life. Something shifting. Crawling. Pressing upward, as if trying to emerge. I dropped the phone onto the desk and staggered back. "No, no, no." My voice cracked. This wasn't possible. This wasn't real. But the sound came again. Cock, cock? This time. Not from the drawer. From everywhere. The walls. The ceiling. The metal trays. Even the desk beneath my hands vibrated slightly with each hollow knock. Cock, cock, cock? It surrounded me. Rhythmic. Persistent. Alive. "Stop," I shouted, pressing my hands against my ears. The sound didn't fade. If anything, it grew louder. And then, it stopped. Instantly. The silence that followed was worse. Heavier. Thicker. Like the air itself had solidified around me. I stood there, frozen. Waiting. Listening. Then. A new sound. Drip. I turned slowly. The sound came from the drawer. From number 13. A thin, dark liquid was seeping out from the edge. Sliding down the metal. Pooling onto the floor. My stomach dropped. That's not possible. The body had been dry. Cold. Still. But now. Something inside was leaking. Another drip. Then another. The smell hit me seconds later. Not formalin. Not chemicals. Something metallic. Warm. Wrong. Blood. I took a step back. Then another. But I couldn't look away. The drawer creaked. Slowly. It began to slide open on its own. "No, don't," I whispered. The metal rails groaned as the drawer extended inch by inch. The sound echoed unnaturally, stretching longer than it should have. Like it didn't want to stop. When it finally did, the body was still there. But the sheet was gone. Completely. Her face was fully exposed now. Pale. Broken. Smiling. And her eyes. Both open. Not hollow. Not empty. Looking directly at me. Recognition flickered in them. Not curiosity. Not confusion. Recognition. Like she knew me. like she had always known me. Her lips moved. Slowly. Stiffly. As if unused to the motion. No sound came out. But I could read them. 2 words. Too late. My phone vibrated violently behind me. I turned. The screen lit up on its own. New photo saved. Timestamp. 2 a.m. I didn't remember taking it. But I already knew. I didn't want to see it. Still. My body moved. Slow. Unwilling. I picked up the phone. Opened the image. And felt something inside me break. Because this time, the photo wasn't of her. It was of me. Standing in front of drawer 13. Eyes closed. Lying perfectly still. Inside the drawer. And beside it. She was standing. Smiling. Free. Chapter 6. The breath behind me. I dropped the phone. It hit the floor with a sharp crack. The sound echoing far too loudly in the suffocating silence of the morgue. No, that's not real. I whispered, shaking my head. But the image was already burned into my mind. Me. Inside the drawer. Still. Lifeless. Replaced. I'm still here, I muttered, backing away. I'm not. A sound cut me off. Not knocking. Not dripping. Breathing. Right behind me. Slow. Heavy. Wet. My entire body went rigid. Every muscle locked. Every thought froze. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. Because I knew. Deep down, with absolute certainty. If I looked, I would see her. The breath came again. Closer. Dragging across the back of my neck like something testing the shape of me. Learning it. Memorizing it. My hands trembled violently. Please, I whispered. Just stop. The air shifted. A strand of cold air brushed past my ear. Then. A voice. Not loud. Not whispered. Spoken directly into my head. You already opened it. I squeezed my eyes shut. I didn't mean to. You already looked. My chest tightened. I didn't know. You already took one. My breath caught. Silence. Then. You belong here now. Something inside me snapped. No. I spun around. Nothing. Empty space. Rows of drawers stretching endlessly into the dim light. Still. Silent. Dead. My heart pounded so hard it hurt. I'm not staying here, I said, louder now, forcing strength into my voice. I'm leaving. I turned and ran. The hallway seemed longer than before. Each step echoed unnaturally, stretching out behind me like something was following, matching my pace. Just out of sight. I reached the stairs. Grabbed the railing. Started climbing. 1 step. 2. 3. The lights flickered. For a split second. Darkness swallowed everything. When the lights came back, I wasn't at the stairs anymore. I was back in the morgue. Standing directly in front of drawer 13. My stomach dropped. No, that's not possible. I turned again. Ran in the opposite direction. Faster this time. Desperate. The hallway twisted. The walls seemed closer. The air heavier. I reached the door. Pushed it open. And stepped back into the same room. The same cold. The same drawers. The same. Drawer 13. always in front of me. Stop, I whispered, my voice breaking. Please, just stop? The lights flickered again. Longer this time. Darkness. Complete. I held my breath. Waiting. Listening. Then. Click. The sound of a camera. Right next to my ear. The flash exploded in the dark. Blinding. White. Burning. When my vision cleared, I wasn't alone. She was standing inches away from me. Closer than before. Closer than anything should ever be. Her face was clearer now. Too clear. Her skin was cracked in places. Like something had tried to break out from underneath. Dark veins pulsed faintly beneath the surface. Spreading toward her eyes. Her eyes. They weren't empty anymore. They were full. Filled with something thick. Dark. Moving. And they were locked onto mine. Unblinking. Her lips curled slowly into a smile. Too wide. Too deep. And then. She inhaled. Not like a human. Like something learning how to breathe again. Her chest rose sharply. Her mouth opened. And she exhaled. Directly into my face. Cold flooded my lungs. I gasped. But the air that came out of me wasn't mine. It was hers. I staggered back, choking, clawing at my throat. What did you? She tilted her head further. The crack of bone echoed faintly. Then, she raised her hand. Slowly. Deliberately. And pointed at my chest. You're empty now. My heart skipped. For a second. I couldn't feel it beating. Not even once. The lights flickered again. And when they steadied, she was gone. But something remained. Inside me. Breathing. Not in sync with mine. Not under my control. Just waiting. For the next photo.
Like and subscribe to Whispering Dark Tales for more chilling ghost stories.
Chapter 7. Someone who shouldn't exist. I didn't leave the morgue that night. Not because I didn't try. But because every exit led me back. At some point, maybe around 4 a.m., the lights stopped flickering. The air returned to that unnatural stillness. The knocking was gone. The breathing, quieter. Still there. But quieter. Like it was waiting. I sat at the desk. Unmoving. Afraid that if I did anything, it would notice again. My wrist still burned. The marks were darker now. Not red anymore. Almost bruised. No. Not bruised. Embedded. Like fingerprints pressed into clay that had hardened over time. Permanent. I didn't check my phone again. I didn't want to know how many new photos were there. I didn't want to know what they showed. But I could feel it. That pull. Like something inside my chest was leaning toward it, curious, hungry. I clenched my fists. No. The word echoed weakly in the empty room. Morning came without sunrise. No light reached the basement. But I knew it was morning when the clock hit 6 a.m., and the elevator finally opened. I didn't remember walking into it. But suddenly, I was upstairs. Alive. The hospital looked normal again. Too normal. Nurses walked past me, talking quietly. A doctor pushed a cart down the hall. Somewhere in the distance, a phone rang. Sound had returned. Movement had returned. Life had returned. And yet, something was wrong. No one looked at me. Not once. I stepped in front of a nurse. "Excuse me." She walked straight past me. Didn't slow down. Didn't react. Didn't even blink. My stomach tightened. "Hey, hey." "Nothing." I turned toward a doctor. Reached out. Grabbed his arm. My hand passed through him. I stumbled back. "No, no, no, no." My breathing sped up again. Panic rising. Sharp. Immediate. "I'm here," I whispered. "I'm still here." A voice answered. "Are you?" I froze. It wasn't her voice. This one was older. Dry. Tired. I turned slowly. At the end of the hallway, someone was standing there. A man. Thin. Wearing the same uniform I had on. He looked wrong. Not in the same way she did. Not broken. Not twisted. Just faded. Like a photograph left too long in the sun. His eyes met mine. And for the first time since I left the basement. "Someone saw me." "You opened it," he said quietly. I didn't respond. "You took a picture," he continued. My throat tightened. "Yes." He nodded slowly. No surprise. No anger. Just resignation. Then it started. "What?" I asked, my voice cracking. "What started?" He stepped closer. Each movement slow, deliberate, like he wasn't used to walking anymore. The replacement. The word hit harder than anything else that night. "No," I said immediately. "No, that's not. I'm still here. I'm talking to you." "For now," he replied. My chest tightened. "What do you mean, for now?" He looked past me. Toward the elevator. Toward the basement. "She couldn't leave," he said, "so she learned how to trade." My blood ran cold. "Trade, what?" He looked back at me. "Places." Silence. Then, "You think that body in drawer 13 was always hers?" My mind raced. The image. The photo. Me inside the drawer. "No," I whispered. He nodded. "That was me." My heart stopped. 20 years ago," he continued, "I did exactly what you did." The hallway felt colder. "I thought it was just a story," he said, "just something to scare new staff." His expression didn't change. But something behind his eyes did. I took one picture. I couldn't breathe. "And now?" I asked. He gave a small, empty smile. "Now I'm what's left." A chill ran down my spine. "What happens when she takes my place?" He didn't answer immediately. Then, "You don't disappear." That should have been comforting. It wasn't. "You stay," he said. "You just stop being real." My hands trembled. "People won't see you, won't hear you, won't touch you." I thought of the nurse. The doctor. My hand passing through him. "You'll still be here," he continued, "but not the way you are now." "Then what?" I asked. He looked at me. Really looked at me. Like me. Silence filled the space between us. Then, my phone vibrated. Loud. Sharp. Unavoidable. The man's expression changed. For the first time. There was fear. "Don't look at it," he said quickly. But my hand was already moving. Not by choice. Drawn. I pulled the phone out. The screen lit up. New photo. Timestamp. 6:07 a.m. My finger trembled as I opened it. And my world shattered. Because this time, I wasn't standing. I was lying down. Inside drawer 13. Eyes open. Looking directly at the camera. And standing beside me was her. Holding my phone. Taking the picture. Chapter 8. The photos that shouldn't exist. I dropped the phone again. But this time, it didn't feel like fear. It felt like something breaking inside me. I didn't take that, I whispered. My voice sounded distant. Detached. Like it belonged to someone else standing far away. The man didn't move. His eyes stayed fixed on the phone lying between us. I told you not to look, he said quietly. I didn't take that, I repeated, louder now. I was here. I was standing right here. You don't need to take them anymore. His words cut through everything. My chest tightened. What do you mean? He hesitated. For the first time, something like guilt flickered across his face. She learns you, he said slowly. The moment you take the first photo, she begins to understand how you see the world. My stomach twisted. And once she understands, he continued, she doesn't need you to press the button anymore. Silence. She can do it herself. A cold wave washed over me. No, I shook my head. No, that's not possible. But even as I said it, I remembered the flash. The sound. Right next to my ear. Click. I hadn't touched the phone. She's using your perspective now. He said, your eyes. Your position. My hands trembled. That means. He nodded. She's always close. The hallway suddenly felt too narrow. Too tight. I looked around. Nurses still walked past. Doctors still moved through the space. Normal. Everything looked normal. But now, I understood something I hadn't before. If she could see through me, then she was already here. With me. Inside my space. Inside my life. The phone vibrated again. Both of us flinched. No, don't, the man said sharply. But it was too late. The screen lit up. Another photo. Timestamp. 6:09 a.m. My fingers moved on their own. I opened it. And my breath stopped. It was my apartment. My bedroom. The angle was wrong. Too high. Too far back. Like it had been taken from the corner of the ceiling. I wasn't in it. The bed was empty. The door slightly open. Darkness beyond it. I stared at the image. Heart pounding. I'm not even there, I whispered. She is, the man replied. The words barely left his mouth when the image changed. Not like a new photo. Like a continuation. Something inside it moved. The bedroom door creaked open, slowly, inch by inch. My hands started shaking uncontrollably. That's not a picture, I whispered. That's. Don't watch it, he said quickly. But I couldn't look away. From the darkness inside the doorway, something stepped forward. Tall. Thin. Familiar. Her. She moved unnaturally, her body jerking slightly with each step. Like she was learning how to exist in that space. In my space. No, my voice broke. No, she can't be there. She doesn't move through places. The man said, she moves through you. The image zoomed in suddenly. Closer to her face. Closer. Closer. until it filled the entire screen. Her eyes. Not empty anymore. Not hollow. They were clear. Focused. Alive. And they were looking directly at me. Through the phone. Through the image. Through everything. Her lips moved. Slowly. Deliberately. And this time, I heard her. Not in my head. From the phone. From inside the image. I found your home. The screen went black. I staggered back. Nearly collapsing. No, 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 no. The man grabbed my shoulder. For the first time, I felt contact. Real. Solid. You need to stop this now, he said urgently. How? I shouted. How do I stop something that's not even real? It's real enough to replace you. Silence. Then. There's only one way. My chest rose and fell rapidly. What? He looked at me. Long. Heavy. You have to pass it on. My blood ran cold. No. If you don't. I said no. My voice echoed through the hallway. Louder than anything before. People turned. For a split second. They saw me. Really saw me. Then. They looked away. Like I was never there. The man stepped back. You're running out of time, he said quietly. My phone vibrated again. I didn't reach for it. I didn't want to know. But deep down, I already understood. She wasn't just following me anymore. She was spreading. Into my life. Into my space. Into everything I thought was mine. And sooner or later, there would be no difference between where I ended and where she began.
Like and subscribe to Whispering Dark Tales for more chilling ghost stories.
Chapter 9. Her face was never meant to be seen. I didn't touch the phone. Not this time. I let it vibrate. Once. Twice. 3 times. Each pulse felt like a heartbeat that didn't belong to me. Don't answer it, the man said. His voice was quieter now. Less certain. I'm not, I replied. But even as I said it, my eyes kept drifting down. The screen lit up again. Another notification. Another photo. I turned away. Forced myself to breathe. To focus. She said I had to pass it on. I whispered. That's the only way. The man didn't respond immediately. When he did, his voice sounded tired. It is. I clenched my fists. I'm not doing that. Then you'll become her. The words landed harder than anything else. Or worse, he added quietly. Silence stretched between us. Then, what's worse than that? I asked. For a moment, he didn't answer. Then he said something I wish he hadn't. She won't need you anymore. My stomach dropped. And when that happens, he looked at me. Not with fear. Not with pity. With certainty. You don't stay like me. A cold emptiness spread through my chest. You just stop. The phone vibrated again. Louder. More aggressive. Like it was demanding to be seen. I squeezed my eyes shut. I'm not looking. You will, he said. I shook my head. No. You already started. My breathing became uneven again. The phone stopped vibrating. Silence. Relief, brief, fragile, began to creep in. Then. Click. The sound of a camera. Right in front of me. My eyes snapped open. No phone. No one holding anything. But I knew. Another photo had just been taken. Without me. Of me. The screen lit up on the floor. I stared at it. Frozen. Slowly. Against every instinct. I bent down. Picked it up. Opened the image. And screamed. It was my face. But not like I had ever seen it before. Too close. Too detailed. Too wrong. The image filled the entire screen. My skin looked pale. Stretched. Almost translucent. My eyes. They weren't mine anymore. The pupils were too large. Too dark. Spreading outward like ink in water. And my mouth. My mouth was open. Wider than it should be. Far wider. The corners of my lips pulled back unnaturally, splitting the skin just enough to reveal something behind them. Something moving. I dropped the phone again, gasping. No, that's not me. The man didn't say anything. I looked at him. Desperate. Tell me that's not me. He hesitated. Then. It's becoming you. My chest tightened. What does that mean? He didn't answer directly. Instead, he pointed behind me. Slowly. I turned. There was a mirror on the wall. I hadn't noticed it before. It wasn't there earlier. I was sure of it. My reflection stared back at me. Normal. At first. Then. It blinked. I didn't. My breath caught. The reflection smiled. I didn't. The corners of its mouth stretched. Further. Further. Skin tightening. Cracking. And then. It opened its mouth. Wide. Too wide. Just like in the photo. And inside. Something moved. The same thing. The same impossible movement. Crawling. Rising. Trying to come out. I stumbled backward, hitting the wall. No. The reflection stepped closer. Closer than the glass should allow. Its face pressed against the surface. Flattening slightly. Distorting. And then. It spoke. Not in my voice. In hers. You looked too closely. The mirror cracked. A thin line. Running across the surface. Right through my reflection's mouth. And from that crack. Something began to push through. Slowly. Deliberately. Reaching out. For me. Chapter 10. There is no escape. The crack spread. Not fast. Not violently. Slow. Precise. Like something behind the mirror was pushing, testing, learning how much force it needed to break through. I stumbled back, my legs weak. No, stay back. But the reflection didn't listen. It leaned closer. Closer than it should have been able to. Closer than glass should allow. The surface bent outward slightly. Not breaking. Not yet. Just enough to show that it was no longer solid. Something inside pressed against it. From the other side. My reflection's mouth stretched wider. The crack deepened. And then. Pop. A small piece of glass broke outward. Fell. Shattered on the floor. I froze. Because from that small, jagged opening, something emerged. A finger. Pale. Too long. Too thin. It pushed through the mirror slowly. Like it was being born into the wrong world. My heart slammed against my ribs. No, No, no. I turned and ran. The hallway warped around me. Walls bending slightly. Lights flickering faster now, unstable. Erratic, like they were losing control. I didn't know where I was going. Only that I needed distance. Space. Anything away from that thing. Behind me. Glass shattered. Loud. Violent. Final. I didn't look back. I couldn't. But I heard it. Something landing on the floor. Then. Footsteps. Not human. Too uneven. Too slow in some steps. Too fast in others. Like something learning how to walk again. You can't leave. The voice echoed through the hallway. Not from one direction. From everywhere. I ran faster. My lungs burned. My chest tightened. But something was wrong. My breathing. It wasn't matching my movement. I inhaled. But something else exhaled. Out of sync. Inside me. You're already open. The voice again. Closer now. I reached a door. Any door. Didn't matter. I grabbed the handle. Turned it. Locked. I pulled harder. Pounded against it. Open. Behind me. The footsteps stopped. Silence. Heavy. Waiting. Then. Click. The lock turned. On its own. The door creaked open slowly. Relief flooded me. Until I looked inside. The morgue. Again. Same room. Same cold air. Same rows of drawers. And at the center. Drawer 13. Open. Waiting. No, I whispered. My legs gave out. I collapsed to my knees. I'm not going back. A sound behind me. I didn't need to turn. I already knew. You never left. I forced myself to look. Slowly. Carefully. She stood there. Fully formed now. No distortion. No flickering. Real. More real than anything else in that room. Her eyes. They were no longer hollow. They were full. Clear. Alive. And they were mine. I felt something inside my chest twist. Pain. Sharp. Deep. I gasped. And dropped to the floor. My hand pressed against my chest. My heart. It wasn't beating right. It skipped. Stopped. Then started again. Slower. Weaker. She stepped closer. Each step perfectly balanced. Perfectly controlled. No more jerking. No more broken movement. She had learned. You're almost ready, she said softly. Her voice. It sounded like mine now. What are you doing to me? I choked. She tilted her head slightly. Nothing, you didn't start. I tried to crawl backward. My body felt heavier. Slower. Like something inside me was being drained. Or worse. Replaced. She raised her hand. And held up my phone. The screen was already on. Camera open. Pointing at me. No, I whispered. Just one more, she said. My body froze. Completely. I couldn't move. Couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. My reflection appeared on the screen. But it wasn't me anymore. My eyes were darker. My skin paler. My mouth slightly open. And inside. Something moved. Tears blurred my vision. Please. She smiled. And pressed the button. Click. Everything went silent. For a moment, I felt nothing. No pain. No fear. No thought. Then, cold. Everywhere. I tried to move. I couldn't. I tried to breathe. Nothing came. I opened my eyes and saw metal. Close. Too close. A narrow space. Dark. Cold. And above me, a number.
Like and subscribe to Whispering Dark Tales for more chilling ghost stories.
Chapter 11. The Ones Who Remain. I couldn't feel my body. Not the way I used to. There was no weight. No breath. No heartbeat pounding in my chest. Only cold. A deep, suffocating cold that pressed in from every direction, wrapping around me like a second skin I couldn't remove. I tried to move my fingers. Nothing. Tried to turn my head. Nothing. But I was awake. That was the worst part. I was still aware. Still thinking. Still there. Trapped inside a body that no longer listened. Inside something that no longer belonged to me. Time didn't pass normally. It stretched. Folded. Broke apart. I don't know how long I lay there. Minutes. Hours. Days. All I knew was the dark. And the cold. And the silence. Until. A knock. My mind snapped toward the sound. Not outside. Inside. Inside the drawer. Inside, with me. Cock. Panic surged. No. But I couldn't speak. The knocking came again. Closer this time. Right beside my ear. Something shifted. Not the drawer. Inside it. My thoughts stuttered. I wasn't alone. The realization hit like a blade through ice. There was something else in here. Something that had been here longer than me. Slowly. I felt it. Not touch. Not movement. Presence. Right next to me. Pressed against me in the narrow space. You finally understand. The voice wasn't in my ears. It was inside my head. Calm. Familiar. The man. You, I tried to say. But the word didn't form. Still. He heard me. This is what's left, he said. My thoughts raced. You said, you were still out there. I was. A pause. Until you replaced me. Cold spread deeper. No, I didn't. You took the photo. His voice remained steady. Unchanging. And she took your place. Silence. So now, I forced the thought forward. This is me? Yes. The word echoed. Heavy. Final. You don't leave this drawer. He continued. Not the way you think. My mind struggled to process. But I saw you, upstairs. You will too. A slow, creeping dread filled the emptiness inside me. You won't be fully here, he said, and you won't be fully there. I understood. Like a shadow? Like a memory, he corrected. Another knock. This time. From outside. Both of us fell silent. Listening. Waiting. The drawer handle rattled. Metal scraping softly. They're here, he said. Who? The next one. The drawer slid open. Light flooded in. Blinding. I saw the room again. The morgue. The same rows. The same cold. And standing in front of us. A man. Young. Nervous. New. He looked down at the body. At me. His face paled. What the hell? I tried to move. Tried to scream. Run. But nothing came out. Behind him. She stood. Invisible to him. But not to me. Her eyes met mine. And she smiled. Then. She raised my phone. Pointed it at him. No, I thought desperately. Don't. He didn't see her. Didn't hear me. He only saw the drawer. The body. The strange, unnatural stillness. And then. Curiosity. The same mistake I made. He reached into his pocket. Pulled out his phone. No, stop. Too late. He opened the camera. She leaned closer to him. Whispered something I couldn't hear. His expression changed. Not fear. Something else. Compulsion. His hand lifted. The camera aligned. And I understood. This was how it continued. Not by force. But by choice. A single moment. A single decision. He pressed the button. Click. And just like that. It began again. Chapter 12. What the morgue really is. The moment the shutter clicked. I felt it. Not outside. Not in the room. Inside the drawer. Inside me. A shift. Subtle. But absolute. Something loosened. And something else took its place. The man beside me. The one who had been here before. Went silent. Completely. Hey, I tried to reach him. What's happening? No answer. I felt around. Not with hands, but with awareness. He was still there. But weaker. Fading. Like I had been, before. Then I understood. This wasn't just replacement. It was consumption. She doesn't just take your place. I whispered in my thoughts. She erases you. A soft laugh echoed. Not from him. From her. You're learning, she said. Her voice wasn't outside anymore. It was everywhere. Inside the drawer. Inside the walls. Inside my mind. What is this place? I demanded. Silence. Then. Not a morgue. The word lingered. Heavy. Wrong. Then what? I pressed. A pause. As if she was choosing how much I was allowed to understand. This is where unfinished things come. Cold tightened around me. Not the dead, she continued. The ones who were never meant to die that way. Images flashed through my mind. Bodies misidentified. Lives cut short. Mistakes buried. Screams that no one heard. They don't leave, she said softly. They stay until someone listens. My thoughts trembled. And you? A longer pause. Then. I was forgotten. The weight of that answer crushed everything. They closed the drawer, she continued. They walked away. They never came back. I felt it. Not just fear. Something deeper. Rage. Despair. Loneliness so vast it had nowhere to go. So you, I whispered, you're trying to escape. No. Her answer came instantly. Cold. Certain. I already did. My mind froze. Then why are you still here? Silence. Then. Because this place needs something to remain. A realization began to form. Slow. Terrifying. A replacement. She didn't answer. She didn't need to. Above us. I heard movement. The new man. His breathing had changed. Slower. Heavier. The same as mine had. It's happening, I thought. And then I felt it again. That pull. The same pull from before. Toward the phone. Toward the image. Toward the act. No, I resisted. I'm not doing this again. You don't have to. Her voice. Closer now. You already did. The realization hit instantly. The first photo. That was enough. Everything after was just the process finishing itself. Above. A scream. Sharp. Sudden. Cut off too quickly. Then. Click. Silence. The drawer beside mine opened. Slowly. And something new fell in. Heavy. Still warm. The new man. His thoughts, panicked, broken, flooded the space. Help, help me, what is this? I wanted to answer. To warn him. To tell him it was too late. But I couldn't. Because I was already fading. Just like the man before me. You understand now, she said. My thoughts weakened. This place doesn't trap you. Darkness crept in. It replaces you. Everything slowed. Everything dimmed. And just before I disappeared completely, I realized something far worse than death. This wasn't a curse. It was a system. And it would never end.
Like and subscribe to Whispering Dark Tales for more chilling ghost stories.
Chapter 13. The Choice. I wasn't gone. Not completely. That was the first thing I realized. Even as everything inside me faded. Even as my thoughts grew thinner. Weaker. I was still there. A fragment. A trace. Something that refused to disappear. The new man was screaming. Not with his voice. With his mind. Raw. Broken. What is this? Where am I? Help. The panic filled the drawer like pressure. Crushing. Endless. I remembered that feeling. Too well. And for the first time since everything began, I felt something other than fear. Guilt. This is my fault, I thought. If I hadn't taken that first photo. If I had just walked away. He wouldn't be here. You're still thinking like that? Her voice again. Calm. Almost amused. You think you started this? My thoughts faltered. Didn't I? A soft laugh. Cold. Endless. This existed long before you. Silence. And it will exist long after. The new man's panic began to shift. Slowing. Changing. Just like mine had. Wait, his thoughts stuttered. What is happening to me? I knew that stage. The moment when fear turns into confusion. When confusion turns into understanding. And when understanding comes. It's already too late. You can still help him. Her voice cut through everything. Sharp. Precise. My thoughts froze. How? A pause. Give him a way out. My mind reeled. No. The answer came instantly. Without hesitation. I'm not doing that again. A shift in the darkness. Subtle. But present. You already know the rule. I clenched onto what little of myself remained. No, I repeated. If you don't. I said no. For a moment. Silence. Then. Something changed. Not in the drawer. In me. The fading stopped. Just slightly. But enough. You feel that? she whispered. My thoughts sharpened. Cleared. If you choose not to pass it on. The cold deepened. You don't disappear. A pause. You stay. I remembered what the man had said. Worse than becoming her is being nothing at all. What does that mean? I asked. No answer. Instead, I felt something new. Pressure. From outside. The drawer. Someone was opening it. Light seeped in. Thin. Weak. Another person. A woman this time. Young. Careful. But curious. Always curiosity. She looked down. At the body. At me. Her brow furrowed. Why is this one still here? Behind her. She appeared. Standing quietly. Watching. Waiting. No, I thought. Not again. The woman hesitated. Then. Reached for her phone. Don't, I whispered. But my voice didn't exist. She opened the camera. Raised it. And in that moment, I understood. This was it. The choice. Not for survival. But for what I would become. I could let it happen. Let her take the photo. Let the cycle continue. Or I could stop it. Right here. Even if it meant I would never leave. Her finger hovered over the button. Time slowed. The world held its breath. And for the first time since everything began, the choice was mine. Chapter 14. I was never truly out. Time stretched. Not forward. Not backward. Outward. Like the moment itself refused to end until I chose. The woman stood there. Phone raised. Breath steady. Unaware. Behind her. She waited. Silent. Watching me. Not rushing. Not forcing. Because she knew. Sooner or later. Everyone chooses. Don't do it. I tried again. But nothing left me. No sound. No warning. Just thought. Useless. The woman shifted slightly. Adjusting the angle. Her finger hovered. Closer now. A fraction of a second away. You can stop this. Her voice. Closer than ever. Right beside me. Inside me. Or you can let it continue. My thoughts trembled. If I stop it, what happens to me? Silence. Then. You remain. The words echoed. Not alive. Cold deepened. Not gone. The darkness pressed tighter. Just. Here. Forever. I looked at the woman. At her face. At the curiosity in her eyes. The same look I had. The same mistake. I can't let this happen again. A flicker. Not in the room. In me. The last piece of something human. Her finger began to press down. Time snapped. And I moved. Not my body. I didn't have one anymore. But something. Something that was still me. Reached. The phone in her hand glitched. The screen flickered violently. The image distorted. What? She whispered. Her grip loosened slightly. I pushed harder. Not with strength. With will. The camera twisted. The angle broke. And then. The screen turned. Facing her. Her own face filled the frame. Her eyes widened. Confused. No, wait. Click. The flash went off. Silence. Everything stopped. The woman froze. Her expression locked in place. Then, her body collapsed. Heavy. Empty. Falling straight toward the drawer. Into it. Beside me. The drawer slammed shut. Darkness returned. But something was different. No panic. No screaming. Only stillness. You chose. Her voice. But not the same. Quieter. Distant. You broke the cycle. For a moment. Hope flickered. Did I? A pause. Then. A soft, almost gentle reply. No. Cold flooded everything. You only changed your place in it. Understanding came too late. I hadn't stopped it. I had become part of it. Not the victim. Not the replacement. Something else. Above. I heard footsteps. More than one. Voices. Why is this drawer locked? Open it. Metal scraped. The drawer began to slide open again. Light spilled in. And for the first time, I wasn't looking out from inside. I was looking from the darkness behind them. Watching. Waiting. For the next one. To make the same mistake.
Like and subscribe to Whispering Dark Tales for more chilling ghost stories.
Chapter 15. The One Who Calls. The drawer opened. Slowly. Metal scraping against metal. That familiar sound echoing through the room like a memory that refused to die. Light poured in. Cold. Pale. Unforgiving. They stood there. Two of them this time. A doctor. And a young assistant. Both leaning forward. Looking down. At the body. At what used to be me. At what used to be them. Strange, the doctor muttered. This one wasn't logged. The assistant frowned. Should we report it? I watched them. Not from the drawer. Not from a body. From somewhere else. Somewhere deeper. Somewhere that didn't have a shape. I tried to understand what I was now. But there were no words for it. I wasn't trapped. I wasn't free. I was present. Everywhere in the room. In the walls. In the cold air. In the silence between their breaths. And then. I felt it. That pull. The same one from before. But this time. It wasn't pulling me. It was coming from me. The assistant hesitated. I don't like this, she whispered. Good. She could feel it. That thin edge of something wrong. That instinct. That warning. The one I ignored. Relax, the doctor said. It's just a body. Just a body. The words echoed. Just a body. That's how it always begins. The assistant leaned closer. Just a little. Curiosity. Always curiosity. What's wrong with its face? She whispered. The doctor didn't answer. Because something was wrong. The expression. The eyes. They weren't empty. They were waiting. I felt it then. The moment. The same moment I once stood in. Right before everything changes. Her hand moved. Slowly. Into her pocket. She pulled out her phone. No, a faint thought echoed. But it wasn't mine. Not anymore. I understood now. That warning. That hesitation. That final chance to walk away. It never comes from outside. It comes from what's left. Of the last person. Her hand trembled slightly. I shouldn't, she whispered. Then. She opened the camera. The screen lit up. Casting that same pale glow. The same glow I had once stared into. And this time, I saw it clearly. Not just her, but everything behind her. Layered. Stacked. Endless. Figures. Dozens. Hundreds. All standing in the dark. Watching. Waiting. Just like me. I moved. Not forward. Not physically. But closer. Into her space. Into her breath. Into the edge of her thoughts. Don't. The word formed. Soft. Barely there. She froze. Her eyes flickered. For a moment. She felt me. Really felt me. What was that? She whispered. The doctor didn't respond. He couldn't hear it. Only she could. Just like I once did. I had a choice. Not to escape. That was gone. But to decide. What I would become. The voice. The warning. Or. The call. Her finger hovered over the button. Time held still. And then. I spoke. Not loudly. Not clearly. But enough. Take it. Her breath hitched. A second of hesitation. And then. Click. The flash filled the room. And the cycle. Continued. If you ever find a photo on your phone. That you don't remember taking. Don't zoom in. Don't stare too long. And whatever you do. Don't take another one. Because some things don't stay inside pictures. They come out. They watch. They wait. And once they see you, they don't let go.
Like and subscribe to Whispering Dark Tales for more chilling ghost stories.